Having trouble sleeping? I mean, who isn't, right? According to the Institute of Medicine, more than 50 million Americans suffer from some type of sleep or wakefulness disorder. And we're spending big bucks to try and fix that problem. Americans are expected to spend more than $700 million on sleep aids in 2017.
And that number is expected to grow to more than $800 million by 2021. But a new study suggests that using all these sleep aids may be more harmful than helpful. Joining us now to discuss this report is Lisa Gill, who covers drugs for Consumer Reports. So, Lisa, what over-the-counter sleep medications did you analyze, and what does it tell you?
Sure. So we did a large nationally representative survey of more than 4,000 adult Americans. We asked them all sorts of things about their sleep habits, what was causing it, what they did to treat it, and did it work. And so we looked very specifically at things like the PM drugs, like Tylenol PM, things like also ZQuil or Sominex.
These things are very common.
Really common things you can buy over the counter, is a phrase, but it's without a prescription. So they are the #1 most commonly used sleep aid for people that are having trouble.
Well, if it's over the counter, I think there's this misconception that, oh, it's totally fine. I can use this and there's not going to be a problem. This survey, though, expanded upon a survey conducted back in 2015. Now, in that survey, you said that you found people who were not using these sleep aids as directed. How did that survey and this survey then stack up with one another? So
actually, our statisticians went back in and we started looking a little closer, and we're like, wait a minute, there's some interesting other data here. And we took a closer look and figured out that people were not taking these medications as directed. So, you know, when we talk about all of these drugs, it's usually one single ingredient, and it's diphenhydramine. It's this really old school antihistamine drug that causes people often to become drowsy as a result. So that's why people take it. And what we found out is that instead of taking it for the 2-week time period that the manufacturer suggests, people were taking it way longer. Sometimes most people were taking it a year or longer, which is dangerous.
Interesting that you say that, because I used to work an overnight shift, and I remember coming into the shift, I was getting advice from everyone else. How do you do it? How do you manage it? And they say it's tough. You're on a reverse sleep cycle, so you're taking sleeping pills during the day. You're taking other things to stay up. I made a conscious decision to avoid it completely, but it seems to me that these types of drugs, even though they're over the counter, can be addictive and they're habit forming.
Exactly. So the claim on the bottles often say non-habit forming, and the manufacturers can put that legally, but our survey was really one of the first to demonstrate that so many people were taking it beyond this time frame that the manufacturers suggest, and that it in fact is habit forming. And actually, for your situation, melatonin has the best evidence for people that are working like a reverse shift. Melatonin doesn't really work otherwise if you're just like normal, you know, I go to bed at normal time and wake up at normal time, but melatonin really actually works for that best.
You're getting advice while we're also breaking down this. I love it.
I can't resist it.
I think a lot of people who work that third shift figure out what to do to just get through it. I avoided it by working out and doing other things.
Which is great. I think that's even better.
Other people on that shift lived by these types of drugs.
Yeah, so these medications, the problem with these is that they can cause some short-term side effects and long-term. Short-term are things like confusion, dizziness, next day drowsiness, and also something we call the hangover effect. So people
where you feel drowsy the next
day. Right, and so you wind up actually much more prone to falls, especially for people over the age of 65, and also for car accidents. So that is also super scary. And then from a long-term standpoint, there has been some data that associates the long-term use of this class of drugs, which is called anticholinergics. The whole class has been associated with long-term memory problems, and some of them severe.
And there are other things you can do. You can journal, you can, you know, I mean, people just don't want to take the time to do it. They want to pop a pill and be done.
So would your advice be to avoid these types of medications, or be more mindful that you're not taking these things long term?
Right, mindful, and also, you know, if you find that you're taking them longer than 2 weeks, it's time to go to the doctor. It's time to have a discussion about, hey, I have insomnia. It's like I'm having a serious sleep problem. What can we do? Honestly, the best thing is this journaling is like cognitive behavioral therapy.
That's what I do.
Shown better to work than Ambien and other sort of prescription products, and also over-the-counter products.
Because usually it's up here. It's not necessarily, you know.
It's just a habit, too. Some people, you know, I mean, when you think about insomnia, you become like, I've just become anxious just like talking about it. You know, it's a common thing.
And I would recommend working out during the day.
Actually,
gets those endorphins flowing, and then you sleep really well that evening.
We have so much advice for everyone. However, CBS did reach out to the FDA on the survey's findings. We want to get to this just quickly. They responded saying, quote, not aware of data that suggests that over-the-counter sleep aids containing these ingredients are habit-forming forming when used as directed. The key here seems to be whether or not people are using these drugs as directed, as we said, for those 2 weeks, and then getting off of them.
Right. So I was excited to see the FDA's response. We've talked with them a lot about the habit-forming nature of it. They don't have any data, and we are excited to share our data with them. So hopefully we can have a really good discussion about what we found that adult Americans are doing. It's kind of crazy.
Obviously something we all need to talk about.
Yeah, this is definitely eye-opening stuff. Lisa Gill with Consumer Reports. Thanks so much.
Thank you.